Maybe you are a sneakerhead that buys shoes on the regular, or a collector who doesn't even wear all of his shoes, or someone who buys sneakers occasionally and beats the hell out of each pair. You surely have stumbled upon these silhouettes from arguably two of the leading sneaker brands right now. Well, you've seen the title, you've seen the thumbnail. Of course, I'm talking about the Nike Air Force 1 and the Adidas Superstar. Welcome to my channel, this is Rai, and with this vlog, I aim to determine which one is the better silhouette between the two. Some of you are team swoosh, some of you are team stripes. Well, I'm from a different team, but whether you will agree with me on my sentiments later, or of course disagree, or you'd want to add something that I most likely be missing on, feel free to comment down and let's have a healthy conversation below. By the way, for those new to the channel, please subscribe with notifications turned on. I usually do sneaker related content, pop culture stuff, and many more. So, without further ado, let's begin this. So, which is which? Is it the Nike Air Force 1 or the Adidas Superstar? Right now, I only have a pair of Adidas Superstar. The one released last February 13 with the Quicks toy. If you've missed my unboxing vlog about that pair and the toy, I will have the link down below. Currently, I don't have a Nike Air Force 1, but I'm sort of planning to acquire one, a triple white pair. So for this vlog, I look for a Nike Air Force 1 to borrow. I happened to be in Sir Carlo Ople's studio around a couple of weeks back, and I was able to borrow this pair from him. Anyone familiar with this pair? Well, yes, this used to be an all-white pair. Sir Carlo Ople acquired that from Japan, and then just recently, he had this custom work done by Paolo Tomenes. So, Boss Paolo Tomenes. Anyway, let's break down this sort of sneaker battle in three categories. First, let's discuss the history and the legacy. Adidas Superstar. It was originally released back in 1969. It was a basketball silhouette rivaling the Converse All-Star and the Pro Keds. The Superstar is basically a low-top version of the Adidas Pro model, another OG pair of Adidas basketball shoes with shell toes on it. Shell toes. Basically, the reason is for durability and longevity. Back then, in theory, it should diminish the possibility of creasing, of course, and make the lifespan of the shoe longer and avoid outright breaking of the upper. The shell toes was worn by NBA players, but probably the most popular player to ever wear the shell toes back then was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I think it's just fair to say that the shell toes being used by NBA players cemented Adidas' place on the performance basketball scene and the NBA history in general. Well, that's because Adidas was basically a running shoe brand before that. Fast forward to the 80s, Adidas Superstar became more of a lifestyle shoe being used by hip-hop artists, specifically Run DMC. And Run DMC is basically the reason why the laceless Superstar have been a thing for decades now. Now let's go to the Air Force Ones. The original Air Force Ones was released back in 1982. Also a basketball model. It was originally a high-top pair with straps. It was also the first Nike basketball shoe to ever contain an air unit, the air technology. Now, because of the prominence of other basketball shoes by Nike, And of course, the resurgence of Air Jordan back then. The Nike Air Force 1 low became more popular as a lifestyle shoe. It can even be argued that the AF1s are the staple lifestyle shoe of the brand, of Nike. In the NBA, many players have rocked the Air Force 1s. Many players even had their signature shoe or player exclusive Air Force 1s like Rasheed Wallace. And celebrities, of course, actors, musicians have been wearing the Air Force 1 as their go-to shoe. And the Air Force 1 has been sort of a trademark sneaker for New Yorkers. Anyway, considering everything that was said, I think in terms of history and legacy, for me, the shell toes win this round. Next one, we talk about the performance and wearability. Now, the Superstar being a 60s or technically 70s silhouette, it is to some degree inferior to the AF1, which was released more than a decade after. Adidas released an 80s version, but one can argue that Nike Air technology is really one revolutionary technology. That AF1 remains a better performance shoe than the Superstar. The 80s version of the Superstar maybe had an improved padding on the tongue and on the sides. Maybe the shape was improved, maybe the EVA foam as a midsole was improved. But still, the technology inside the Air Force 1 makes it a better shoe, performance-wise. Now, personally, being able to own both pairs in the past, I can say that AF1, particularly the triple white version, is more wearable. It goes with literally anything. Easy to pair with every outfit that you can think of. And, well, for me, it's more comfortable. Of course, that's without comparing either of the shoe to a newer technology. That would be stupid. To be fair, I'm not saying that shell toes are horrible. Don't get me wrong. But when compared, AF1 over the shell toes any day. So, Nike AF1 wins this round. Now let's try to dive deep the style and relevance department. Although both silhouettes are originally made for old school performance basketball, both transitioned successfully as two of the most sought after lifestyle sneakers of all time. Both were culturally embedded, well, at least in the US, as something that would be an identifier. Like I said, Air Force 1 have been identified as a New Yorker shoe. Both became cult classics, pop culture icons. Musical artists such as MCs, DJs, singers, bands, and the likes rocked their pairs proudly on performances, music videos, live appearances, award ceremonies, red carpets, and similar events. Throughout the years, more and more artists and designers became fond of both silhouettes. That's why a number of collaborations were released all throughout the decades. Well, one would argue that the past couple of years, AF1 ruled over the shell toes. You know, the Travis Scott, the G-Dragon, that's just to name a few. The shell toe, however, had its fair share. Some great collabs, some not so great. Anyone remembers Pharrell Williams' market oversaturation of the artisan version of shell toes? Surely those can be referred to as a hit or miss release. But what's not, right? So in this category, I would say it's a draw. So guys, since on my scorecard, it's basically a draw between these two, I'll let you guys decide which silhouette wins. Are you for the ever versatile Nike Air Force 1? Or are you for the iconic Adidas shell toes, formerly known as the Superstars? Let's have a healthy conversation in the comments below. While you're at it, I'd like to ask a favor from all of you to please give this video a like. Maybe share this with your friends who love the Superstar or the Nike or both. And again, if you have something to add, because I'm sure I've missed on some things, feel free to comment down below as well. So guys, that's it for now. I hope you guys have enjoyed this vlog as much as I did. Again, if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing. Click on the notification bell so you'd always be notified with my videos. So yeah, may you all have a blessed week ahead. And I'll see you on the next vlog.